And welcome back to Smart Martial Arts, the channel where we go over everything martial arts. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a list of I don't know how many there were, but the hardest kicks to master in martial arts. Where I found it, I will put right here if I can find it. If not, then it's not going to be there. But I'm not going to be rating these. I'm going to be kind of just showing you what they are and then kind of talking a little bit about why I think they're difficult, if they are, and then I guess one way you can use them. Now, so going right into it, if I can talk. The spinning hook kick, which looks like this. Boom. Do that. So I guess for this one, I wouldn't say it's too difficult. Anything spinning related can be kind of weird, especially if you don't do it a whole lot. But in terms of like the spinning hook kick, spinning back kick, spinning side kick, I think this would probably be one of the easier ones because it's a little bit more forgiving. Because if I miss something here or like I kind of glance off of it, it's not going to do a whole lot. But if I'm close and I kind of just hum something, it's going to do some damage. So I think it's the easiest one of like the spinning backside hook kick. So I think those are the ones that you're going to see most of the time. And the way that I think I would see them used, especially this one, is I think a Taekwondo thing is if as soon as I see someone do a roundhouse kick, I plant the spinning back kick. But a spinning hook kick is kind of weird because maybe if I can kind of lead them this way, like I can lead them to go to whatever direction, like here, and I can just kind of spin into it. But it's the quickest spinning kick, I think. I've never actually tested them. But just because you're just kind of swinging it. So I think that'd be the way that I would use this, is I would kind of lead someone to go the certain way and then plant it, and then go, and then do it that way. Now next is the flying side kick, which looks like this. So it's basically just a side kick, but I jump and then I do my kick. This was pretty easy. If you can do a side kick, you can do a flying side kick, because it just takes basically you just kind of run for a second, and then you jump up and you kick. I guess if you want to go super technical, if you want to make it look really good and you want to add the other foot coming up, it might be a little bit harder. But ways I would use this would be like a really good, I'm entering the fight, or someone's just huge and they're not expecting it. Like if I'm already running towards somebody and I want them to stop, I might, jump up and kick them. Or if someone's big and tall, I'm like, all right, well, we're going to do it this way. And then you just start with a flying side kick. One, it looks badass, and two, it's probably a pretty powerful kick. Because I personally love side kicks, if you've been here for a while. Side kicks are my favorite kick. So it's pretty easy, and I would use it to either start a fight, or if somebody's running away, I need to catch up to them, I might do this as well. Next one we have is the axe kick. Boom. Not too difficult. I think you could probably fake this as an instep kick, where if you fake here or whatever and they drop their hands, you kind of just come up and then you drop it. Yeah, it's not that hard. Maybe getting up and kind of actually hitting where you want to hit, because this one is going to be pretty noticeable. Or if you do a lot of crescent kicks, you might be able to kind of sneak that in. But in order to actually get like the downward motion there, you're gonna have to get really lucky, or you're gonna have to be super tall. So an axe kick for me is if you're tall, you do this to add another thing, or I might use with a crescent kick too, where I kind of come up and I use the downward momentum to like pull someone's hand down, and then I can use their guards down, so I can come in and do a punch after that. I don't really use a whole lot of axe kicks. If someone's on the ground, I guess it's another way. If someone's fallen down and I need to, do something I don't want to stomp, I could do an axe kick, make it look kind of cool. That's really it. Something if I want to pull someone's guard down, and then if they've already fallen and I need to do the coup de grace, boom, drop my heel, call it a day. Next is the crescent kick. There's the inside, or there's the crescent, reverse crescent, how I know it, and there's the inside and the outside. Inside looks like this, outside looks like that. As I said with the previous one, I do the crescent kick or the inside crescent kick a lot to pull the hand down, but I'll do the reverse crescent kick kind of instead of a switch kick, where I'll, instead of here, I'll just kind of leave from there. And then eventually, as I do that, I can set up for the roundhouse if I wanted to do it that way too. That's something that I've been working on for the past couple of weeks, and it actually worked pretty well. Most people don't expect it, especially if they're, I guess, either very low rank or very high rank, because this kind of gets lost in translation a little bit. In terms of difficultness, not really. It's almost kind of like a crappy roundhouse. Instead of turning over here, I'm kind of just slapping. And using it, it's a pretty safe kick, especially this one, because now you go away, or you go on the opposite side of the way they expect. Because you can also chamber this as a roundhouse kick, show that, and you come back around. So this kick, I like the crescent kick. I think if you don't use crescent kicks, you should use them more and see what you can do. This is also a really good kick for the inside of like the thigh, because I fight southpaw. So if someone's left or orthodox, I'll kind of just use this and I'll just sneak it in the thigh if I want to every now and then. So crescent kick, not that hard, pretty effective. I would recommend that you do it. Now the next one, I can't really do this one. I've never actually practiced it. The 540 kick, which I would assume is something like this. Boom. If that isn't a tornado kick. 180. Oops, here. I'm facing now. 180. I've never done this before, so 180. Oh, maybe 360? Yeah, 180, but I all the way around, so 180. What? Here. 180. I don't know. Never done it. Not gonna worry about it right now. So I can't really talk about how I would use it. So I would say this one is probably going to be the hardest on the list, because I've never done it, and I've never really practiced doing it. I've never pulled it off successfully in sparring, obviously. So that one's no fun, but I'm sure it's a fun kick, but I can't do it, so we're not going to talk about it. Now the next one is the jumping roundhouse kick, which I would assume is just that. I jump and throw a roundhouse kick. I don't really know why you would do this. It's not that hard. If you can do a really nice roundhouse kick, boom, boom, then kind of jump to it. It might be a little bit more difficult, because now you can't push off, really. I mean, I guess you could push off. Well, maybe not. Maybe I just proved myself wrong. But it might be kind of a weird thing to land after, especially if you miss. So I don't really know. You have like medium difficulty. And then how I would use it, this is definitely a fake kick for me. If I were to do this, I would fake a lot of like roundhouses or whatever, and then I would jump and see if I can get high up. Or if I do a lot of like a teep and I do that, I might do this, and then turn it into a roundhouse. So that would be a very big fake kick for me, as I wouldn't just kind of do that. Unless I know that they're just higher and their guard's down, I'm just going to slam it in, but it doesn't happen too often to me. Alright, next is the switch kick, which to me is here. So I'm basically just doing a quick switch of my stance and throwing a roundhouse kick. Difficulty depends on, I guess, where you are. For me, personally, my left side is the worst side, so it's going to be kind of awkward, especially with the jump. See, they go right into it. So if you don't do a lot of left side kicks, or whatever your switch kick is, I guess if you're here, you can do that. But if you don't do a lot of switch kicks, or you don't use your other side, this might be pretty difficult to actually kind of make it efficient, make it go where you want to go and how you want it to go. How would I use this? I guess if somebody switches their stance on me, if I'm here, because I'm going to do this with my left leg most likely for me. If we're here and they switch stances, in order to switch my stance without kind of just doing it lamely, I might here, and then bring it back down and then stay in the stance. I really don't do this a whole lot, but I know I should. This is one of the kicks where it would kind of be beneficial, because I do spar like this. So if I switch and do that, I might catch some people off guard. I don't know. But not that hard to do unless you don't practice your other side. And then I might use it to go from whatever stance I am to switch and not just kind of be a loser about it and kind of just be like, okay, now I'm here, I might just, and then I'm good to go right into it. So next is the jumping back kick. Boom. I don't see why not. Difficulty, this is going to be probably one of the harder ones to kind of get the momentum to throw your kick well and then spin at the same time. I've probably done that a total of 10 times in my life. In sparring, probably never. However, I guess if I were to use it, it might be someone who comes in like a heavy stepper. I might wait until they do it and then just boom and just slam this into them. Or if they go back, how do I pull this up? If they step back, I might kind of jump and follow into it. So if they step back, boom. Maybe another way I'd actually use. I might do that. I might try that now that I think about it. But someone who comes in rather heavy, they put a lot of their weight on the lead leg. Or if I kick and they step back, this is a good way to kind of follow and be semi-safe because they might not expect you to spin and do all that kind of stuff. Now the last one we have, keeping with the same theme, is the jump crescent kick, which I would assume is that or that maybe. I don't really know. Or like here, oh, it might be that. Here. I think this is going to be harder than the spinning hook kick and harder than the jump spinning back kick. Yeah, I think this would actually be a pretty difficult one to do, because now in order to kind of jump and keep this momentum and make it a pretty good kick might be kind of hard. But I've also never done this before today. Well, that's not true. I did this years ago, probably, to get one of my belts. I think it was blue belt, or to go from blue to green. I don't know if I'd ever use this. I think I'd rather do the jump spinning back kick than do this, because I could see this going a lot worse. Because if they stop this, now it's like a whole section of me is a problem. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever use this, but I guess if I had to, it might be the same where they run away and I kind of lead and I do that. This would be a really cool one, especially if you were like getting your ass beat and then you just hit them with this. This would be a showstopper. This would be like, yeah, remember the time that I jump, spin, crescent kicked you? Yeah, good times. You would own them for a long time after that one, because that's one that you just can't come back from. That being said, I hope it never happens to me, because that would be embarrassing now that I said that. But that's all the kicks on the list. Most of them weren't too bad. I think the jump spinning crescent kick, the 540 kick, I can't do, and then maybe the jump spinning back kick are the hardest just in general to do. And then the switch kick is hard if you don't do a lot of your opposite side. But other than that, not all of them were too hard. I wouldn't say that they would be the hardest to master. I couldn't tell you which ones are right now, but I wouldn't say all of those would be on. I think the jump kicks and the spinning kicks would be really hard because that's a very different thing to do. And then maybe the jump roundhouse kick, maybe, probably not. But for sure, I definitely do the spinning and the jumping kicks, but that's my answer for the list is pretty good list, but I would cut it down to just those ones. And that's about all I have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys do use any of those in sparring regularly, wow, that was rough. Let me know. I'd love to hear the stories of fun knockouts or fun moments from those, because I don't really use a whole lot of them. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.